So continue to Middle East.
Okay. I met a basketball player that was traveling to the Middle East for a basketball season from September to June, I believe he said it was. I didn't know they had basketball in the Middle East, so that was a little bit of a revelation. It was nice meeting him though. He was the only one close enough on the flight that had talked. There were a couple other people there. They were, I think, business concentrated on getting to where they needed to go. But it was a good flight. Made it into Karachi on time. Actually made it in about 40 minutes early. When we landed, I headed to where it said to Immigration Customs and waited there. I met with a customs agent, and he saw that I hadn't had a visa yet, and I told him that it was arranged from Rihan that one of his people would buy the visa and bring it into customs for me. He said, okay, call them, and I called them. They hadn't planned to be at the airport until 7:30 a.m. and I was there at 7 a.m. So at 7:10 I called and they said they're on their way, a few minutes away. About 10 or 15 minutes later they weren't there, and the customs agent asked me to call again. Called again, and they said they're still on their way, they got stuck in traffic. The customs agent was very nice. He talked to one of Rihan's staff and he was assured that they are on the way. So he actually took me out to the baggage area to find my bag and wait for them to come so they could pay for the visa and I could get cleared to come into Pakistan. It was about 10 minutes late, but it was good, and the customs agent was a little stressed because he had to wait longer than he thought. When I came through, I was the last one through customs, and there was nobody there, so he had time, but in waiting for the guys to show up, it was, I guess, a little stressful on him because 2 plane loads of people came in from Saudi Arabia, and they had packed the customs area with hundreds and hundreds of people that needed to be checked through. So again, he was very nice. He transferred me over to his supervisor who waited with me. Everything was nice. We went for breakfast right outside the airport at no other than McDonald's, and it was kind of good to see that they had a McDonald's here, but I really usually don't like McDonald's, so it was all right. Went there, enjoyed some tea and a biscuit and some good company. The people that picked me up were very nice and helpful, and just a pleasure to talk with. So after breakfast, we headed on to Karachi, where the office was, or where the office is and where I am. And I was able to get cleaned up a little bit and get ready to meet my host, and we got, that's all right. We got that done, and I met with Rihan. It was very good. Asked me what I wanted to eat. My preference wherever I am is homemade food, and he graciously accommodated that. There are no Pakistani restaurants near me, and I've never eaten Pakistani food. Had eaten Indian food, and Rihan said it was similar, and it was, but I think it's a little bolder, a little more flavor to it. Very enjoyable. I can't remember what I ate now. Some chicken, some vegetables, some flatbread, not like naan, a little bit thinner than naan. Some drink, some dessert. Very, very filling meal. Every meal seems to be more than enough food. I went back. It was a long day. I wasn't tired at all. I think my brain wasn't used to such long traveling. I went to try to go to sleep. It took a while to finally get some sleep, but I think I got 3 or 4 hours of sleep the first night. Felt refreshed, woke up, had some meetings, went out around town. I noticed on the way in, the first thing that I really noticed was the traffic. Atlanta traffic can be pretty bad, but nothing like this. I think the closest was when I was in France, and there was a 2-lane road, and on the 2-lane road, there were 7 cars going across, trying to get across at the traffic light at the first time, or at the same time. Here, it was a 2-lane road and about 14 vehicles, which included motorcycles, motorized rickshaws, cars, trucks, buses, and even a donkey pulling a cart. Yeah, nothing like I saw in most of the intersections. I was surprised don't have traffic signals, no signs, no lights. So everybody kind of just gets in there when they can and gets across it when they can. Very hectic in my mind. My brain is still trying to process that after being through that. It was surprising. One of the other things, the human mind picks out negativity, and I'm no stranger to that. I like to think positive, but when I see all the streets littered with garbage, not the best impression, but I try to look beyond that. Trying to think of ways that what they can do to help fix that, because I don't know anybody that likes living, working, traveling among garbage. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how that happened, but I hope they find a solution to it. Another thing I noticed is with a large city, I think this is the largest city I've been in, 20 million plus people, a lot of poverty, and with that, a lot of beggars. Almost every intersection where you stop, you'll have a beggar come up to you and politely, very politely, put their hand out. I don't know what they're saying because they're speaking Urdu, but they're asking for money. Don't have a lot of money to give, which kind of hurts me a little bit, that I wish I could give more. So what we did is the first restaurant we went to, they brought large portions and saved a portion to bring out to the beggars outside. I gave mine to the drink to a young lady, maybe 20, 21 years old, and to a boy, I think maybe he was 10 or 11 years old, and they seemed very appreciative of that. There was an old lady, maybe in her 70s, that was also begging. My friend from Rian's organization gave her some food that he had saved, and she was appreciative of that too. Trying to find a parking spot, I don't know how they do it. Some places have people that will park you near a store, and they'll arrange for you to kind of park behind another car, park behind some bikes. But except for one place, it seems to work out. Again, I don't know how. Another day, I was kindly invited to my now friend at Rian's organization, Faisal. He invited me into his home to have breakfast with him and his family, and I really appreciated that. I'd never seen what people live like around Karachi, and other than coming here, I was very interested in it. We arrived there. He had a house that was a lot larger than I expected. I thought, the houses around here would be so crowded and so tiny. And it wasn't, I think the ceilings were maybe 12 feet tall, very nicely decorated, nicely appointed with furniture. And we sat down, met his father and his younger brothers and his wife and his mother, and they all live in the same house, which I heard is very common here in Pakistan. The families tend to live together to conserve costs. Had a wonderful breakfast. It was homemade bread, eggs, a chicken cake. I've never had the chicken cake, and a couple other, I don't know if it was vegetables or potato and vegetables mixed, but everything was like super tasty. Every meal I've had here, I think you could compare easily to a 4- and 5-star restaurant in quality, and the freshness, I don't think could be beat. So we enjoyed, they set out a tablecloth on the floor, we all sat on the floor, and one of the things I've noticed is that usually don't use utensils, no fork, knife, spoon, except for serving. But when you eat, you put some food on the plate and tear a piece of bread and smush the bread into the food and pick it up and eat it that way. Everybody eats with their hands. It's, I said, different for me. I'm used to using utensils, but hey, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and I'm enjoying it. The food is just so delicious. I'm enjoying that very much, almost as much as I'm enjoying the people here. To be welcomed into somebody's house, or a person that you don't even know. He's known me for 2 days, and he welcomed me into his house. To me, it was just mind-blowing. You know, there's hospitality, but that's beyond hospitality. It's great. So enjoying that with, you know, a new friend